be a white dude.
Hope comes to Santa Fe.
Yeah, me and my roommate were talking about that the other day. Disney Channel, there's a movie, like Break. Break was like, what is it? I'm like,
Team X.
Team Excellence, yeah, Val Horgan. Team Up and Sons. You can buy that shirt on.
Val Horgan was like the teenage skater version.
He was
Nice
in
man.
but no, he was the, remember who, I think his name was Buzz or whatever? Yeah, Giants.
Oh.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Of course he did. Yeah.
He also played goalie in Chelsea.
It was a good shot, though. Yeah, I have no idea.
You would never guess it. Not Bill.
Usually a return. I'll take that as a positive.
Guys, Coach will open with a comment. Raise your hand. Keep them up for me for a second.
How's everybody doing today? Good. Well, I've been pretty pleased with the progress that we've been able to make this week in practice. I think we learned a lot from the last scrimmage. Guys have had a pretty good attitude about doing the things they need to do to try to improve. I think we have more players that are getting a little closer to maybe being able to contribute in some area of the team, which will be certainly needed. We need more guys that can play winning football. This is usually a tough transition week when school started, like yesterday, and a lot of distractions, but I really was pleased with the way the players just responded, and we've had a couple of our best work days in the last 2 days, and we start on our first opponent a little bit today. And, the message is how you're going to respond to a team that has bad intentions for what they want to do against you and what you want to accomplish yourself. And, this team has to be focused on the identity that they want to create for themselves in terms of how they play, how they go out and execute. And I think the whole idea is, to be able to go play smart. More games are lost on mental errors and stupid mistakes probably than anything, especially on openers, and that's certainly something that we're going to work hard to try to, eliminate. So, we don't have anything new to report on the injury front. Najee Harris has been doing dry land running. He'll do drills tomorrow for the first time at his position. So he's making good progress, but, we'd still have to say he's day-to-day. With these kinds of things, just got to see how he responds and see if he has any kind of setback.
Okay, Coach, we'll start over on the right with Ben.
We've seen Rashad Johnson out there at practice this week. I was wondering what it's like to have him back and where he might help you all out.
Well, Rashad is a guy that I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for. He was a great player here, a guy that was a walk-on that earned a scholarship and became a star player, and because he's smart, really understands the game. Had a great pro career, certainly has the right stuff as a person, great character. So he had talked to me, earlier in the year about the possibility of, being a coach or having a role in the program, and we had an opening, right before the season started. He was already with the Giants as an intern, just for camp. So he completed that until the 15th and then came and joined us. And I just think he's a really, really good young guy to be trying to develop as a coach. He has a lot of experience, not only in our system, but in other systems that he's played in. So, that input can be of great benefit to us.
Go over on the left, Michael.
Yes, just given everything that happened with Ohio State, with Urban Meyer, what kind of safeguards do you guys have in place to make sure something like that doesn't happen at Alabama?
Well, I think our administration does a great job. I mean, we do things like, we have a meeting with compliance every week. We have a reporting protocol that if we have anything at all that happens, what the lines of reporting are, how it gets documented. I've been really pleased with the system that we have here in place. These are things that as a head coach you're responsible for. Sometimes are difficult to control, but even when you can't control them and you know about them, you certainly should report them so that they don't become a bigger issue in the program. And that's something that I've always felt really comfortable with our people here in terms of the way they manage it. We have a tremendous amount of compassion for and empathy for anybody who is involved in any kind of abusive behavior, whether it's domestic violence or anything else. And certainly we want the people in our organization to feel comfortable and confident that they're going to be protected in every way possible. And all of our people in our organization know they have a responsibility and obligation to make good choices and decisions, do what's right, respect the people that they work with, and respect people in the community so that we don't have issues. But if we do, I'm very comfortable with the reporting line that we have in place.
Coach, come back over to Charlotte.
How have you seen Jerry Judy kind of bounce back from that knee injury he had in the spring, and what areas have you seen him improve since last year?
Well, he's had an outstanding fall camp. I think the biggest thing with Jerry is going out there every day and not getting frustrated in terms of, when you play receiver, you run 70 plays in a game and you run fast and you try to get open every one of those plays. We all pass plays, but whether it's blocking or whatever it is, and maybe you get the ball on a big day 5 times, and sometimes you're open and you think you should get the ball, but it's being able to understand that, you're creating value for yourself every time you beat the DB. I mean, he knows he got beat whether you got the ball or not. And to build on that and play fast and be consistent, I think is the thing that he's improved dramatically on. And it's just a matter of maturity and understanding. And he's had a great fall camp, I think, because of it, and been very productive.
Stay over on the right with Tony.
After 2 scrimmages, what have you seen from Austin Jones at kicker, and what's his range, if you know it at all?
Well, I do know it, but I'm not sure I'm interested in telling you. But I call Louisville special teams coach and let him know if you'd like for me to. I don't know the guy personally, but I'd be glad to give him the information if you think that'd be beneficial to helping our team. He's done a good job. He's a very consistent kicker. He's done well in the scrimmages. Joe has improved dramatically as well, I think, in terms of his consistency. So I think that I feel pretty good about those 2 guys and their ability to do a good job for us in the field goal. And I also think that they can share a role in kickoff as well.
Go to Christopher. We've got 2. Chris Walsh. We've got 2 more.
You've talked in years past about at the end of camp you have a meeting where you kind of decide on these are the guys we're going to focus on this year. How did that go this year? Was it any different between having the new coaches and the way the roster lines up?
Well, I think that it's a little different this year because, with the new redshirt rule, you got to figure out who you're going to coach and who you're going to try to develop. But you certainly don't have to worry about we can't play this guy for 1 play in the game because something would happen in a negative way relative to his year of eligibility. So we're continuing to try to develop more players, on our roster and make those decisions a little later rather than having to decide right now what category a guy fits into. We obviously have some guys that are freshmen that probably need to be redshirted. It would help their development and maturity. We have some other guys that probably are not ready to play right now, but if we continue to coach them at some point in time in the season, they probably would be ready to play. And then I think we have some other guys that are in a position that we need for them to develop so they can provide some depth on our team. So whatever category they fit into right now, we've still been trying to coach them all.
We'll finish here in the middle with Alex.
Nick, kind of a two-part question. In your experience, what's the biggest area of growth that you see in second-year players? And I guess what are you on the lookout for as far as like that, you know, any growing pains with some of those kind of guys you're going to depend on this year?
Well, I think every guy's a little bit different, and I think every guy's background and circumstance is a little bit different in terms of what their role has been on the team. You know, how much experience they got last year, how much they got to play. But I do think that in first games, it's really important to be able to put some guys out there that can execute and play together as a unit. And like I said before, you know, mental errors and, you know, making mental mistakes are things that absolutely kill you on whatever, offense, defense, special teams. And guys that have more knowledge and experience and maturity are less likely to make those kind of plays. So we're trying to do everything we can to develop confidence in the young players that we have coming along that are going to have a role in terms of how they can contribute to this team. But I don't think you can ever predict exactly how that's going to go with every player. Some players get affected about how things go in a game, you know, which is another, you know, real area of mental toughness. How do you respond to a bad play? You know, how do you play the next play? And all those things are a part of being a mature competitor. And, you know, I think that we have some guys that are really good competitors. Some of them haven't been under fire yet, and it'll be, you know, interesting to see how they respond when the game comes.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.